Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for this exciting webinar on crafting careers. Get hired using ChatGPT. I'm Anita Sharma from Hoping Minds, and I'll be your host for today's session. So I guess we still have some few participants joining in very quickly. Yeah, so to kick things off, let's delve into the world of ChatGPT, which is an AI tool. I guess everybody of us already know that. More than 50% of Fortune 500 companies are already moving into AI, which means the job market is full of AI opportunities, and we need to prepare ourselves for future also. So today we are here to explore how ChatGPT is becoming an invaluable tool for all the participants, all the students. One, in preparing your future careers. Second, in your interview preparation. Third, in your CV building. Fourth, in skill enhancement, and many more. The number is countless. So ChatGPT basically is everywhere. And for exploring the same, we have our ChatGPT expert, Mr. Hitesh Motwani, who wears multiple hats. He's a proven AI tool and LLM trainer, international speaker with expertise in generative AI and other processes. He's also the founder of Skillopedia and is a guest faculty at 6 IIMs and has trained over 200,000 plus participants. So I encourage you to participate actively as there's much more to learn from him. And also we do have exciting quiz at the end, and which is based upon the session only. So please be very, very active throughout the session, in which we have exciting prizes worth 5K up, and even much more scholarships are also there. So please be available on your laptop along with your phones because you'll be needing both the screens. So without a further ado, let's dive into the world of ChatGPT and uncover the possibilities which ChatGPT holds. So hey Hitesh, welcome, and the audience is all yours now.
Sure. Thank you so much, Anita. And a very, very warm welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for having me over here. Today, I'll be taking you across on this journey of how do you use AI tools to build your expertise, and how do you kind of, build your resumes, apply for jobs, and actually do every single thing in automated mode. If you're super excited, give me a quick excite in the chat box. And I would want all of you to keep typing on the chat box. I keep on asking you to type on chat box. So that's how I know you're listening to me, right? That will also basically help me out to actually, ensure that you're with me throughout the next 2 hours. So, without further ado, let's begin. Let's actually understand exactly that how does these AI tools and how does plenty of these, marketing really work using AI. So today, my aim is to basically help you understand that how can you increase your productivity, especially specifically in writing cover letters, specifically in writing jobs using AI, right? We'll be understanding today how ChatGPT really works. How can ChatGPT give you more number of hours? How can you start using ChatGPT for yourself, for your individual use, and most importantly, some advanced understanding of prompting using ChatGPT. So, there are some ground rules for the session. Number one is going to be a hands-on session. So I would encourage you that whenever I'm showing you a prompt, you should first see what I'm doing. Then actually, I also give you some time to try this out at your end, and you can actually go and try out these things at your end too. Number two, take notes, because it's very, very important that you should take notes. You'll forget, what I say after some time, but if you take notes, you'll remember this for a very, very long time to come. And number three, ask questions. Because the more questions you ask, the more excited I will be to kind of deliver the best to you. Because if you see, we're living one of the most interesting time in the entire history, of our lifetimes. You know why? Because in today's time, babies are born on the internet, machines are learning, and human beings are hooked onto cell phones. And that's the kind of state that we're living in right now. So in today's time, machines are actually learning. Now, when I say that, what do I really mean by it? Let me probably give you a small little demo on this to help you understand this little bit. You see, today the way you apply jobs is completely changed. Today, if you're going to do the regular route, if you're going to apply to the job in the regular way, you're not going to stand out from the crowd. But if you somehow can do something different, something little bit more, outstanding, maybe you'll be able to get a better opening, a better job opportunity for yourself. Now, while I'm sure that all of you must have used ChatGPT, all of you must have seen ChatGPT for yourself, let me show you a small little demo right now on what is the capability of ChatGPT, right? So I can actually start converting and I can basically use ChatGPT writing any stuff for myself. So let's take for example that I'd like to ask him, can you give me a perfect format for a cover letter for a job application of digital marketing, right? Now, they basically start writing, a particular paragraph for you. Now, while we all know ChatGPT write pretty well, that's no brainer. I mean, ChatGPT can do this very, very well. But there are some other AI tools also which can do much, much better job than ChatGPT. For example, today AI is also capable of actually speaking as well. And can not only speak in just the English language, AI today is also capable of speaking in languages like Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, and whatever language that you want, right? And to show you that how AI is advanced today and what AI is able to do today, I'm going to show you I'm going to start off with a simple tool to help you understand this. The tool is called Clipchamp. Now, when I basically go to Clipchamp over here at clipchamp.com, I'll be able to now not only get AI to write, I can also get AI to speak. So I can simply come over here, put a small paragraph over here, right? And imagine that now if you're able to, you know, um, get, I mean, you're able to send an application for your job postings, okay, not only via written, but maybe what if you can do is you can send a voice note with it, right? And you can showcase it how different you are compared to other people, right? What I did right now is I'm just simply putting the small text which I just wrote, like, I'm interested in a particular job. And now I can actually use this tool to speak in any language I want, in English UK, English US, whatever language I want. Maybe if I'm applying for a foreign company, I can even do that as well, right? I can also simply put down that what kind of voiceover do I want? I want a male voiceover or a female voiceover. And now look at the magic. When I play this, it's going to actually speak in a flawless English, that is not robotic, but that is actually human like. Let me show this one to you.
I am writing to express my strong interest in the digital marketing position at Skillopedia, as advertised on LinkedIn. With a solid background in digital marketing strategy and a proven track record of driving online engagement and revenue growth, I am excited about the opportunity to contribute my skills to your dynamic team.
How many guys over here are mind blown with this? I mean, basically, that actually robot can, now the AI can also speak. Not only now AI can speak in English, what if I tell you that AI can also start speaking in the Indian accent and not just the foreign accent, right? And I can also do that as well. I can also get AI to speak in the Indian accent. Let's see how the Indian accent looks like.
I am writing to express my strong interest in the digital marketing position at Skillopedia, as advertised on LinkedIn. With a solid background in digital marketing strategy and a proven track record of driving online engagement and revenue growth, I'm excited about the opportunity to contribute my skills to your dynamic team.
How many guys over here are mind blown with this? Give me a quick MB on chat box in case you're mind blown with this so far. That today AI can also speak as well. Not only this, there's some other softwares also where I can also train the AI on my own voice, right? And I can actually then speak in my language, in my voice, and it'll actually replicate my voice as well. And the tool is called RVC. I don't have time to show it to you, but maybe you can explore. You can go to YouTube and check it out at yourself, in future. Now, forget this. Forget about AI can just speak in English language. If I want, I can also get AI to speak in any regional language that I want. So, for example, I can just simply come. I can actually paste my entire text in English, and I can actually get AI to basically convert the text into Hindi as well. And then I can simply copy this, come back to Clipchamp, and I can actually paste in Hindi language. And I can also basically get the AI to now speak in Hindi and not just in the language of my own. Let's look at this one.
जैसा कि लिंक्डइन पर विज्ञापित किया गया है, मैं स्किलोपेडिया में डिजिटल मार्केटिंग अपनी गहरी रुचि व्यक्त करने के लिए लिख रहा हूं। डिजिटल मार्केटिंग एक ठोस पृष्ठभूमि और ऑनलाइन जुड़ाव और राजस्व वृद्धि को बढ़ावा देने के एक सिद्ध ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड के साथ मैं आपकी गतिशील टीम में अपने कौशल का योगदान करने के अवसर को लेकर उत्साहित हूँ।
Okay, that's too pure Hindi, but if you change the language a little bit more, right? But what I just want to show you is that today AI is capable of speaking in any language, including Punjabi, Malayalam, Telugu, Gujarati, whatever you want. So we're living in one of the most exciting time in the human history right now. And in case you're not leveraging AI for yourself, you are actually not able to scale up, right? And in some time from now, I'm going to show you exactly that with the power of ChatGPT, how can I start writing personalized job letters in automated mode wherever, whichever, and whenever place I want. So how many of you guys over here are super duper excited right now? We're just getting started right now. If you're super excited, give me a SE on the chat box. And you're super excited so far, right? And this is exactly, I'm going to show you in some time from now. Okay, so let's really go forward. So if you see, when I say machine the learning, I actually meant that machine the learning. And actually, human beings are hooked onto cell phones, right? Now, if you see, what has changed so far? People in 2000, if you go to a concert, you just see a concert. But people in 2023, we're recording every single moment of our lives, no matter wherever we are. And the entire world is changing. The question is that are we changing with the world? Right? If I have to divide the world into two parts, it's no longer about AD or BC anymore. It's about life before AI and life after AI, right? And today, things are changing even more just because there's one technology called ChatGPT, right? So the biggest question that people always ask me is that, is AI here to revolutionize us or disrupt us? Well, let me tell you, AI can do four things for you. Number one, if you learn AI tools, it can help you to get better efficient. Like for example, earlier you could probably apply to only 4 or 5 jobs in a day, but today you can apply jobs on steroids. Number two, it can at least get back 4 hours of your day, then doing all the mundane tasks which you've been doing so far. Also, AI can amplify your creativity. It can make you look more professional, right? Most importantly, you start gaining competitive edge and become an early mover. And lastly, you can stay relevant with this current time, right? And you will not be replaced by AI. Because you're wondering, will we be replaced by AI? Well, no, you will not be replaced by AI. You will be replaced by people who know AI better than you. And that is the skill you would want to learn here today. You would want to learn that how you can make AI work for you rather than you working for AI. Now, what are the building blocks of AI? If you really want to master AI, what do you need to know? You need to know one skill and one skill only. That skill is called prompt engineering, right? If you're able to understand that, how can you speak to AI? How can you prompt AI? That's it. That should be that enough should be more than enough, like alone to help you understand that how can you use AI better than before. In fact, if you have to use AI, first of all, you have to change a little bit of a mindset. If you treat AI like a fresher employee who's just fresh out of college and who has no idea what he wants to do, but they're super smart, but they need your guidance. See, without your guidance, you'll not be able to use AI. AI will not be able to generate stuff on its own. Right? That's the first thing. Second thing, you know, this AI is this particular person who has probably read every book in the world, but he or she needs your guidance. Without your guidance, they can't really do anything for that matter. Okay. And most importantly, every AI tool requires three things. Number one, it requires knowledge. It requires your knowledge. It requires understanding that how can you apply your knowledge and you can give it to the chatbot. Number two, you need to know prompting. You need to know how to write basic, efficient prompts. And number three, you require what we call as improved reasoning ability. You should be able to reason AI. If you're able to reason the AI pretty well, that's good enough. Now, what are people doing with ChatGPT? People are writing books, they're writing blogs, they're building marketing plans, they are also making Tinder profiles for that matter, right? So there are multiple use cases of ChatGPT actually. And wherever writing is involved, it can probably do everything for you. In fact, everybody thinks they know ChatGPT, but very few people are actually leveraging the true power of it. And that's what exactly I'm going to show you, that how can you leverage the power of ChatGPT right now, right? So every prompt that you write right now, it requires four things. It requires specific instruction. So when you write prompts, do not actually write stuff like write me an email, write me a CV, write me XYZ. No. Be extremely specific that what are you looking for the bot to do. Number two, you need to basically give a context. For example, today ChatGPT doesn't know about you at this point in time. If somehow you can probably give your data to ChatGPT and tell a little bit more about you, it will be able to improve things more drastically. Number three, you need to basically also give questions, input data, you know, for yourself. And lastly, you need to also write down that what do you want out of it. So let me show you a small demo of right now how do we really go about it. So technically, if you want, you can start training chatbot into anything that you want. A chatbot can become a language model. It can become an Excel bot for you. It can basically become like a CV bot as well. It can also become an interviewer for you as well. Let me show you how does it really work. So let's take for instance if I come to ChatGPT right now. Now I'll talk about how do you build resumes a little later, but initially if I want, I can also basically start with basic stuff. So let's take for example that I can ask ChatGPT to let me just probably write a simple, you know, um, cover letter. Okay. Then I'm going to improve this cover letter by giving better and better and better prompts. Right. So there are three types of prompting majorly we're going to see today. Three prompts. The first prompting is basically what we call is zero shot prompting. This is a prompting that everybody does. So most of us, when we prompt something, we normally do a zero shot prompting, which means that we start writing stuff like, can you write me a social media post for an organic skincare brand, right? That's it. And it starts writing a social media post for you, right? This is basically what we call it zero shot prompting. Why so zero shot prompting? Because currently I'm not training my bot on anything. I haven't given any input to the bot. I'm using bot's intelligence to basically give me the output, right? But there's one drawback in ChatGPT. The biggest drawback is that sometimes it writes very longer emails or longer stuff. Like for example, if I ask ChatGPT write me a cover letter for a job opening of you know digital marketing, the role I'm applying for is social media executive. Then it'll actually start giving you a format. It'll actually write you a cover letter, but this cover letter is too long. It's so big. Sometimes what happens, the HR might not read such a long cover letter. Do you agree with me that sometimes ChatGPT starts writing longer stuff for you? Give me a yes, no, maybe on chat box. Let me just see, probably if you try it out, right? So then the question is that how do we restrict it? How do we restrain it, right? Then basically, if you try to make it short, what's going to happen basically is, it is, it won't understand that. For example, many people might not know this by the way, but you can also edit your prompts. You can simply come back over here, you can edit. And suppose if I say, make it short, okay? And suppose if I do this, even still, it will basically write me a little longer cover letter only. Because it doesn't understand what is short and what is basically long. It doesn't really understand that, to be very honest. So which is why you have to be more specific, you know, in your prompting. Now, how do you become more specific in your prompting? We can build a constraint to it. What's a constraint? Constraint basically is where you give some further commands. You can say make it short and less than 200 words. So if you give very specific instructions, the more specific instructions that you give, okay, the better it is for you. Okay. Because if you're not specific with your words, okay, it is not going to basically help you to build your letter in the most efficient fashion. But still, this letter lacks personalization. It lacks, my own data. It lacks most of its things, right? Which is why we're going to basically try something better right now. But first of all, are we all clear with the first type prompting or zero shot prompting? Yeah. Give me a quick yes and get very clear with this so far. Okay. Now suppose assume that if you had to write a cover letter, right, for yourself, and if you had to basically, I mean, forget about using a bot. Without using a bot, if you write a cover letter, what is the first thing you would all do? You probably go in the market and search for some samples. Yeah. And typically, like, you'll actually go out there and probably see, what other people are saying, how other people are writing it, maybe read some templates from the internet and then start writing it for yourself. Well, what if you can use the same technique on the chatbot? This technique is what we call as research, train, and output, RTO technology. It's called RTO framework. Now, what I'm going to do is, rather than asking ChatGPT to straight away write a cover letter, if I want it to basically get trained in writing the best cover letter and then give me a cover letter, I'll try something little different over here. So now I'll probably say, can you give me the best points to include in a cover letter while applying for a job? And now, it will basically write everything that the letter should have: contact information, salutation, introduction, strong opening, summary, achievement, fit for the company, personal approach, skills, alignment, motivation, passion, closing, signature, blah, 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 blah. Right. Then I'm going to say, can you also tell me what are the reasons that people don't get selected in the interview while they apply for a job and write their cover letter? So what I'm doing right now, like how normally when you go to gym, you do a warm up. Why warm up is necessary when you go to a gym? It trains your body, right? Which basically helps you to, like, start lifting, heavy weights later on. So what I'm doing is I'm warming up a chatbot. I'm asking it to give me, I'm asking it to research right now. Correct? So it's researching for me, and I'm asking it to research from its own database. Now it has all the best points. It has all the points that basically people don't get job for. And now I'm going to say, keeping all the above points in mind, can you write me a perfect, cover letter which is short and less than 200 words, engaging, and will help me get an interview call. Now, the output that it will give you will be much better, much sharper, and more crisper as compared to the previous one. You see, it's more engaging and personalized. Okay, over here as compared to the previous. Previous one was a little longer, little longish, little basically like boring in language as well. But this one right now is much better. This is called a research, train, and output framework. So, in case you want to try this out, you can try this out at your end. I'm just going to copy the link and give it to you, right? And you can simply just click on this particular link. Okay, go out there and just try this out. So whenever you want to write something on ChatGPT, forget about applying for a cover letter. When you want to write about anything for that matter, you can actually simply, start asking a question about challenges that basically the person will face in that particular role. What are the best practices in a particular role, and then ask the right stuff for you. This can be done for even writing social media posts. This can be done for writing articles. This can be done for writing anything that you want. And this framework always works. This framework can also help me build a perfect, you know, um, content calendar for myself as well when I'm doing a social media marketing, doing anything else. How many guys found this framework to be extremely helpful? Give me a quick yes on chat box, right? So, it's about just trying different things and different variations. Now, while your even email as well, so it can be for anything. Now, while AI RPM is a very good extension, no doubt about it, but sometimes what happens, AI RPM doesn't give you all the extensions. Over here, I'm trying to give you a basic framework of prompting. Now, once you understand the framework of prompting, you can obviously use extensions for sure, but you can also start building your own prompts and start building your own intelligence with it as well, right? That's the idea. The idea is that how can you be more intelligent than a bot and don't rely on a Chrome extension? And sometimes what happens, Chrome extensions also kind of take away your lot of data from your PC as well, right? So yeah, but who cares about data any which ways? But yeah, now let me show you a second type of prompting. This is basically the first prompt that we saw right now. Now I'm going to show second type of prompting. Second type of prompting is basically what we call as contextual prompting. Okay. Now, what is contextual prompting? Contextual prompting basically is now wherein I can actually give my context and I can train chatbot on my own data, right? And then I can ask it to give me an output basis that. Now, contextual prompts actually help you to build your content or build your, your openings in a in a much much better way. And what I'm going to show you right now, sometime from now, will actually blow your mind away, because this is something that you won't find anywhere, on the internet as well. So let me first of all, go out to the internet right now and let me just search for a cover letter sample. Okay. So I'm going to go to the internet right now and let me just probably search for, one of the cover letter samples by going to a particular website. And, once I basically find a good cover letter sample, I can actually, then simply use this cover letter sample for myself. And I can actually ask ChatGPT to use this template and give me the letter only in this particular template myself, right? So this is basically what we call as contextual prompt. What's the contextual prompt? Where you lead by an example. Okay. And basically, once you lead by an example, you can actually ask ChatGPT to replicate the same example for yourself and start building stuff for you. Okay. Let me just show you how does it really work. Let me just take an example from the internet right now. Just give me a minute. Now, the same stuff can be applied for anything. So let's take, for example, that in future, if you are trying to, make a sales email for your job, or suppose you're trying to do an outreach, in your job, you can actually do this thing for anything that you want. So suppose, say for example, that your friend had a great template. He's using a particular template for himself, right? So you can actually also use the same template that he's using, and you can actually ask ChatGPT to replicate the same template for yourself in a particular fashion. So let me just show you how does it really work. So let's see this. I came over here right now. Okay. And this is basically a basic sales email introduction template right now. I want to actually use this template to write me an email, and I want that to replicate the same style and same format. I don't want it to use its own brain right now. Don't use its own database, but actually use whatever I am giving them at this point in time. Okay, so I can simply come over here and I can actually just type. We can say I want you to write me a personalized sales letter email for selling CRM software. Use the template given below. Simply put a template out here, right? And I actually, template given below. I am trying to sell CRM software, a company called Siemens. Now, because I've given him a template, the template should be, talking about the prospect name, how you check this website, what's the goal of your product. It'll replicate the same thing. It'll say at your company, we understand XYZ. It'll show you three goals over here. It'll basically, talk about a call to action over here. It'll actually replicate the same template of mine. This is what we call as few shot prompting or contextual prompting. Contextual prompting basically means what? Wherein I'm giving a context, I'm giving a sample, and I'm asking ChatGPT to replicate the same sample for me. Now, how is it really helpful for me, and how does it really work? Now, with this type of prompting, I can actually train the chatbot to take my existing product or take my existing CV, take my existing material, and start giving me, a personalized email, cover letter, brochure, social media, whatever I want for myself. Now, to give you some more examples, some more use cases. Let's take for example that I'm currently going to internet and I'm typing a company name called CJ Darker Logistics. Suppose I want to build a content for this particular company, and I've got an assignment in my interview to start building a social media content for this company right now. Now, ChatGPT doesn't know about this company, but I know about the company. I can simply copy this company information out here. Copy this company information. I come to ChatGPT one more time. Now when I come over here, I can simply start writing. I can simply say that something like, I want you to build me a, a social media content calendar for a company called CJ Darko Logistics. A little about the company is given below. Center. So now when it starts writing stuff for you, right? It'll basically start writing stuff, keeping the content that you've given in mind. So now you're training chatbot on your own content. Now it basically made an entire content of 14 days. Just give you an outline. I can simply say, can you make me a table of content with content type in first column and post, which I can simply copy and paste in second column. Now, at GPT, actually build me an entire table with introduction, code graphics, market leadership, employee spotlight, and it'll just simply give me the examples of post on week one, week two, week three, week four in a step-by-step fashion. Suppose if I want this to be more elaborate, I can also say, can you make the post little more elaborate? Give me a complete content calendar. Talk about facts of company, services of company. Why should someone join the firm as well? Now it will really start writing, the entire content in detail, and all this data information is basically taken up from the information that I gave it right now. So I can actually train the chatbot on my own data. I can ask it to basically start building stuff for me. Okay. And actually I can start replicating, automating my work in no time. How many guys have found this to be wow? Give me a quick wow on chat box. Now, how can you start applying for your CV? You know, let's look at a very practical example of how can I start applying this for your own jobs and for your own CVs right now. Let me show you that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of my own profile. This is basically my own profile, my profile. You see, wherein I say I'm faculty with 7 IIM, Central London University, trained over 2 lakh plus people. This is my own, profile. Now, I want to write a cover letter, okay? And I want ChatGPT right now to actually use my cover letter as a base. And then I want to take the data from here and then write a personalized cover letter for one of the jobs that I want to apply for, right? How do I do that? First, let's write a personalized cover letter about me, or let's probably revamp my CV. Then I'm going to basically use the same template and I'm going to write personalized letters using the same framework, for the jobs that I want to apply. Let's understand that. So very simply put, I can simply copy my entire profile, and the profile is very, very big. It's almost like, 4 pages, by the way. So in ChatGPT, many people not know this, but then you can train the chatbot on your own data points. Okay. So it doesn't need the internet though, but it can actually start doing things very, very fast. So I'm not using a plugin, Akash. I'm doing everything manually, all by myself. No plugins, no external softwares, right? Because sometimes it's very important to apply your own imagination and probably come up with something rather than basically using it, rather than just using a plugin, a third-party plugin. Okay. So I come back over here. Now I'm going to use a very simple prompt. I'm going to ask ChatGPT saying that, I am going to paste my profile. Look, I want you to read it and understand it. This is my profile. Then I will ask you certain questions. Can you answer that for me? Understood? So what you're doing is this is basically what we call is a variable prompting. So what I'm doing right now is I'm basically training the chatbot, to remember my information, okay, and keep my information intact within itself. All right. So I'm just asking, so I'm just saying, I'm going to give a profile to you, and would you be interested? I mean, just read it, understand it. Then I'm going to ask you a question. Then I actually convert this entire chat window to a personalized cover letter chatbot for me. So when I'm going to just put the job opening, it'll start giving me a cover letter, which is personalized with my own data that I want to apply for a job for. And I can automate the entire process in just one single click. Okay. Let's see how do we do it. So I'm going to say my profile is as below. And I'm going to just paste the profile fully. Press enter. You see, I simply just pasted my entire profile over here. And now it says, thank you for detailed profile. I'll do my best to provide accurate, relevant answers and tell me what you need to share. So now I'm going to say, can you revamp my profile and make a logical, crisp, and better CV? The CV should be legible and easy enough for any HR to understand and know about my achievements. So it will then start taking my data. Now it will revamp my data by giving a professional summary, achievements, area of expertise, work experience, and wherever it doesn't have data, it'll just leave it blank for me to fill it up. Right? Notable workshops, speaking engagement, my clients that I worked with, contact information. It just made a very quick, crisp CV right now, and it is personalized as per my own data. Okay? This is the prompt I actually used for myself. Now I'm not done yet. Now it understands my CV. It understands, what I do. So now I can say, I am now going to paste certain job descriptions below. I want you to read it and also read my CV, which is given above. This is the job description. Please make a table which will say, which will be about job responsibility, whether I possess that skill or not, and give a rating from 1 to 5 on skill set, 1 being low and 5 being high. Understood? So now I'm using ChatGPT, as my research alibi. Okay, this is the prompt I've used right now. Now let us basically go to LinkedIn. Let's go to LinkedIn and let's take up a job description from here. Okay, so simply go to job right now. Let me just take up a job description of this Clarion technology. I can just simply copy this, come back to my ChatGPT, paste it over here. Look at the magic. It will tell me the job responsibility, whether I possess that skill or not, and what is my rating on each of the skills over here. Because ChatGPT has read my CV, it's read the job description, and it's telling me whether I'm fit for the job or not. How many of you guys over here are now off your seats and you never thought ChatGPT can be used like this? So ChatGPT is not just a tool for writing stuff, guys. The possibility with ChatGPT is endless. It is not ChatGPT. It's what you can do with ChatGPT. And this stuff, no AI RPM, no plugin, no software can tell you. It's your imagination. So which is why, when I say that you have to start using it differently, you have to start doing it for yourself. You have to figure out ways to use ChatGPT. There's no brain, there's nothing more powerful than a human brain. Now, if I want ChatGPT, now it understands the job description. Now I'm going to say, can you write me a personalized cover letter for the above job? Make it less than 200 words. And now it will take your data, personalized data, it will take company data and actually write you a personalized cover letter with your name at the bottom in no time. If you guys are mind blown, give me a quick wow on chat box. right? So this is basically what you can do. Now, I've just converted and I just basically made this into a personalized spot for me. So what I'm just doing right now is prompt engineering only, okay? So let's say, for example, now I want to just see for myself for this particular job, you know, for White Force Group. I can simply copy this particular opening. And they haven't written much, so let's not do this. Let me just probably pick up something else. Let me just pick up this rent mojo, right? Digital marketing lead. I'm going to simply copy this stuff, copy this, come back to my chat GPT. But say, below is a new job profile. It's a new job profile. Now, based on the job profile, it's going to write me one more cover letter, which is actually personalized to that job profile only. Now, see, this job profile basically it's talking about SQL, it's talking about SEO. So it actually writes down, you know, that I followed 10 more journeys. I'm aligned with your vision. You know, over 3 to 5 years in digital marketing, you consistently optimize SQL, SEO, etc., etc., etc. It's now customizing my cover letter, you know, to the job opening. And suppose if I want to do research again, I can simply come right now and I can simply just say the same prompt one more time. Okay, which is basically like, I want to do research. Copy this. So I just simply can ask it to do the same research for me, you know. Basically, I want to read my CV and basically I want to do job description. So I actually forgot the job description. I'm going to again paste same job description one more time over here. Then, you know, it will then again tell me whether I'm fit for the skill or not. Right. So, I can just simply keep on doing this and I keep on applying for jobs, in detail. So, love is asking me, but if a person pastes a CV in ChatGPT and asks if it's the author of it, wouldn't it make wrong? I don't understand the question, Love Mathur. You're not asking it to become author of it. You're taking your own data, asking it to improve your data. And so basically what I'm doing is I'm training a chatbot on my CV and training a chatbot on the open job description and asking you to combine both of them and write me a personalized letter. If I had to write a letter, I have to read everything twice and then write a letter with it. I am just simply automating that stuff using ChatGPT right now. I'm not asking you to do anything else. But yeah, if I want to improve my CV, I want to improve my existing cover letter, I can do that with it. Right? That's completely upon me. Okay? All right. So maybe I would encourage you guys to try it out at your end right now. I would probably want you all to simply try this out at your end. So I'm putting this particular chat window in the chat box for all of you. Maybe I'll give you all 5 minutes. Why don't you all go and try it out? Why don't you all use the same prompt? Paste your CV, paste the job description that you're applying so far, and try it out for yourself. Right? And let me know if it's working for you or not. If it's actually like, if you're actually currently, if you're able to like make some personalized stuff with it, right? And this is how what you can do is like, whenever you basically start a new chat window, this basically becomes like a chatbot for you. Now in future, it will remember your CV, it will remember your jobs, and you can just simply keep on pasting new job descriptions. It will keep on making cover letters for you. So suppose if I want to convert this into a bot, I can simply say, I want this chat window to get converted into a cover letter bot. I'll keep posting job descriptions and you will need to write me personalized cover letter for each description. Understood? Simply just like, it understood the request right now. And now I don't have to do anything. I don't have to give any more prompts to this bot anymore. I can simply come out here, copy this particular job opening, come back to my chat GPT, paste it, and that's it. It'll read the entire stuff for me, and it'll actually keep on building me a personalized letter, this is my CV, every single time. Correct? So I just converted it into a cover letter bot. That's it. So once I keep on doing this, I am just replicating myself on steroids. Now I can do the same thing with my CV as well. Suppose that you want to make a personalized CV, or at least you want to make a personalized opening for your CV. Then you can ask it to basically become a personalized CV writer. You can give your CV once to chatbot, ask it to basically replicating itself, okay, and basically build stuff, and build your personal CV along with it. Correct? So you can actually convert chatbot into anything that you want, into any particular aspect that you want, and you can start doing this for yourself. Pretty cool, everybody. I hope you learned something new today and learn something more, you know, different as compared to what you normally see otherwise. Okay. So now let's kind of go further. So this is basically one aspect of ChatGPT I showed you. Now what else can ChatGPT do? ChatGPT can do multiple stuff, not just writing cover letters, right? So let's take for example that now I'm also applying. Suppose if I want to, become very prepared or thorough for this interview, right? I can also ask ChatGPT the third type of prompting. So we said the first prompting was zero shot prompting. Zero shot prompting was basically about you give a particular question and you just leave it loose. But zero shot promptings are no good because zero shot prompting will always give you loose answers, right? Then second thing that we basically saw was contextual prompting, wherein I'm giving a context, I'm giving an example, I'm training chatbots on my own data, right? And then giving me data to a particular chatbot, it gets trained on my data. It can start giving me output basis that. And the third type of prompting, which is very famous, some of you might already know this, it's called act like prompting. So now I can ask Chat GPT to act like something. I want you to act like an interviewer. I'm going to paste you a job description below. This is this job description. I want you to interview me and rate my answers that I'm providing to you. Understood? And I just simply paste the job description. Now it simply gives me, you know, question number one, question number two, question number three, question number four, question number five. Just give me a couple of questions. Now, I don't want this. I simply say, I want you to ask me questions one by one and wait for me to type answer and then give your feedback. Now, understood. Now, sir, can you walk me through your experience in marketing strategy development execution? Have you contributed, you know, how have you contributed success in your marketing campaigns? I'm going to say I've got extensive experience in marketing strategy, paid strategy for brands, Keel, keeper of Palm Jumeirah Island. We used influencer marketing, celebs, PR, and government endorsements. My success in marketing is to lead the right team and help them. Yeah. Now I give an answer. Now tell me 8 on 10. Now it also tell me what can I do further to improve it. Now it's going to give me second question, then the third question, then the fourth question. So now I'm actually getting prepared for the interview, right? And I'm actually just simply asking it to, you know, become an interviewer for me. So this can also prepare you for the interview as well. And it'll actually help you to crack that job that you're looking out for in a particular market, right? So it is not about the tool. It's about how you use the tool. That's what really matters at the end of the day. How many guys have found this method to actually be quite helpful, you know, to prepare for your interview, prepare for your job, prepare for a lot of stuff? And yes, if you want, you can actually also ask ChatGPT to suggest you some responses. Suppose I don't know the response of this particular question. Okay. I'm going to say something like, can you recommend the perfect answer for this question? And then it'll actually give me an answer for this particular question. And suppose if I want the answer to be personalized, I can also just simply paste my CV, and then it'll pick up a scenario from my CV and give me a personalized answer with it. So you can actually prepare an entire playbook for yourself if you want. For whatever role, whatever job you're applying, and you can ask ChatGPT to give you questions and answers also if you want. Or you can ask it to give you a question, you can put the answer, then it'll rate your response, and then keep on going further and further and further and further. Did you guys learn something interesting, learn something new today in terms as compared to what you already knew about this software at this point in time? Yeah. Okay. So maybe I can probably pick up some questions if you want. You know, if anybody has any questions, anybody wants to ask me something, more than happy to answer you all. So the game will happen towards the end, not right now. Okay, Arsh, so just hold on to it. We saw three prompts today: zero shot, contextual, act like. Okay. Now, act like prompts will also give you the best responses in case you want, right? So say, take for example now, like if I want to, if I have to write the same cover letter which I did previously. Now, rather than basically just asking Chat to write cover letter, I can simply say, I want you to act like an expert in writing cover letters. Your cover letters have been famous in helping people to get job interview calls. You have over 20 years of experience in drafting appropriate and personalized cover letters. Can you help me to draft a letter for opening at Siemens for a role of IT engineer? So now when you start giving a prompt like this, of act as, then it'll actually, the response that you'll get will be much better, much sharper, and much crisper as compared to what you used to get previously. Why? Because act like cover letters, act like prompt will give you the best output as compared to any output right now. Okay. So you will need to then simply, use this particular prompt, which is called act like, and you can actually ask, give it any role of your choice. Okay, and then you can actually start doing that. So this is basically your, you know, uh, act like act like cover letters. So this essentially is three types of prompting that you can actually go for. So the tool that I basically shown you earlier, was Clipchamp. Okay, for changing language and gaining voice output. It's called Clipchamp. Okay. So now let me in fact show you some other use case of ChatGPT. So apart from cover letters and jobs, you can do multiple stuff with ChatGPT. So let's take for example that I actually want ChatGPT to become like an advisor for my company, or I want ChatGPT to say for instance, help me with, say for example, a programming or Excel bot or something. I can also make ChatGPT into, say for example, personalized bot. I can simply say, I want you to act like a Excel bot. I'm going to give you scenarios in Excel. For each scenario, I would want you to give me an appropriate formula. And then now, just bring the chat window be converted into Excel bot for me. Now I can simply use this as an Excel bot. Suppose I want to say, like, I've got specific data on row A and row B. I want to combine the data and get in row C. This is my question. So then it'll give me formula called concurrent. Right? It'll give me exact formula which I can use. I can simply copy this formula and can use it for myself. Like this, I can basically, like, I can actually keep on doing this for multiple things, for that. So the idea is that, you can actually build your own use cases. Now, for example, if you want to build a bot for writing resumes, writing cover letters, improving English, doing plagiarism checker, you can do multiple stuff out here. Okay. And you can actually start doing that for yourself. Now, sometimes, what will also happen is that when you start writing stuff from ChatGPT, now some companies have become very smart. They'll also basically use something called as a AI tool to detect, whether basically it's plagiarized or not. There's a tool called GPT-0, which is the AI detector. Suppose when you start writing something on AI right now, if you play something on AI, it will actually, tell you whether it's AI written or not. Correct? Normally, the letters that normally ChatGPT writes is essentially, is completely personalized because we use the act like prompt. If you don't use an act like prompt, suppose if you just pick up anything else from it, let's say if you just pick up this entire stuff from it, right? So anything which you write personalized will probably not get detected, you know, um, in these particular bots. But usually, what happens when you start writing something, it'll actually basically also replicate this in AI written. So which is why the way you prompt it is very, very important. So when you're prompting it and giving it a personalized prompt, usually the GPT-0 will not detect it. But let's take, for example, if I ask something like write an article about trends in digital marketing. And suppose you ask a article, write an assignment. Sometimes these kind of articles and assignments can actually be caught by any plagiarized bot. Okay. So no, as I told you, it will not be plagiarized. It will not be plagiarism. It will be zero on mole. Okay, but it will basically get caught in the AI. I mean, basically, they are AI detectors who can detect whether it's AI content or not. This is a content. Now I come back to my GPT-0. I simply just paste it as a check origin. If I ask to write an article, okay, actually it's showing that that's not AI written. But sometimes what happens, this bot will actually tell you it's AI written. Okay. And if it tells you it's AI written, then basically you need to probably use one more prompt and ask it to make it plagiarize free for you. So no, Navneet, ChatGPT's limitation, ChatGPT's cutoff is till September 2021. If the cutoff is September 2021, it will not give you any latest answers. It will not give you any latest data. If you want to use latest data, for that you will need to then probably start using a Bing, and Bing can basically help you with it, right? So suppose, say for example, that if you're looking for a financial analyst role, okay, or suppose you want to do some market research analysis, then you can basically go to Bing chatbot. So you can go to Bing chat over here, and then when you go to the Bing chat, you can simply just ask over here something like, "Can you give me a financial analysis between Maruti and Tata Motors?" Right. So then it'll start taking data from the internet. Okay. And basically it'll give you a table, or it'll give you financial analysis, between two companies. So Bing basically is powered by, ChatGPT 4. Okay. And because it can read data from the internet, it can actually give you an entire analysis for that particular matter. But the same stuff ChatGPT can't do because ChatGPT's cutoff is till September 2021. So just in case, if you want some latest information, if you want some data which is from the internet, you probably have to go and use Bing Chat, or maybe you can actually go and use something called as a Google Bard for doing that. So Google Bard and Bing will do a better job in this as compared to basically, like, what um, what ChatGPT can do. So programming errors, see, now it depends on how you prompt it, to be very honest. So maybe if you have an existing code, an existing bug, and you have to give your existing code to ChatGPT and ask it that can tell me possible errors in this programming, maybe describe what error you're facing. Sometimes it does a good job, but usually ChatGPT is okay in programming. If you really want to do programming, use Tabman or use GitHub Copilot. Those two are better coding tools because they are meant for coders only, not for anything else. In case you want to use it, use GitHub Copilot and Tab9. Don't use ChatGPT in that scenario. With ChatGPT alone, you know, um, I mean, ChatGPT can solve it. Sometimes it hallucinates. Sometimes it doesn't have the best answer, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah, correct. GPT is much better than Google Bart Surgeon. I totally agree. So actually, Bing is like, people don't use Bing too much, but if you really want to have some latest data, you want to do some information about latest things, stuff on the internet. Suppose sometimes when they give assignments in the interview, they ask you to do research, or they ask you to do certain tasks. Then you can actually do that as well using Google Bing. Now many people don't use Google Bing because it only works on Edge. It doesn't work on Chrome. But I would highly recommend it in case you're really interested in latest data. Start using Google Bing, and it's actually very good. But the only problem with Bing is the response of Bing that you get usually is plagiarized because it actually is searching the internet. After it searches the internet, it's giving data to you, right? So the response is actually plagiarized in Bing's case. Okay. Okay. So how can you make PPTs? Well, unfortunately, Rajiv, there's no, um, ChatGPT cannot make PPT. It can use slides data to you. But then if you're using a ChatGPT 4, which is a paid version of ChatGPT, it can build PPTs for you using a third-party plugin called Slido, right? So, basically, you can start using that. And there's one more tool called Tome.app, Tome, Tome.app. And Tome, you can basically start making a PPT for yourself. It basically is ChatGPT 4 and images. But then it is not as great. I mean, I haven't really found a fantastic app alternative PowerPoint. But just in case you want to see a demo of Tome, I'll just show it to you. Okay. So basically, I can simply go to Tome, click on create over here. Okay. I can say create presentation about, and just for example, I will create a presentation about types of, right. So it'll simply just make an outline for me automatically first. Okay. Once it basically makes an outline for me, I can simply say continue. And when I continue, it'll start generating content. It start generating images for me using AI. Correct. And it'll basically quickly make a simple, basic presentation for me. But the presentation can only work in this browser. Okay. And I can edit the presentation as well. It's editable. So it's not like I can simply double click and change it to whatever I want. Okay. So you start doing that for you. It's called tome.app. You can maybe try it out for yourself and see this. Yeah, DALI can generate images. So that's an image generation tool. Okay. No, Tome is free. It is not paid. I'm using a free version. Okay. So Tome is absolutely free. So it's free to use, not download. For downloading, I think you have to pay for it. But uh, at least it does a decent. It does like a very basic job. It's very basic. It is not that great, if you really ask me. But then, at least for a basic presentation that you want to make quickly, you can just do this, and you can actually play presentation using the Tome browser itself. You can simply just do left, right again. You can simply do that as well. So it basically does a basic job for you. Can you build GUIs from AI for free? Well, Brijesh, well, there's a tool for this. The tool is called UI Zerd. Okay, but that's only invite only. It's not open to everybody else as of now. But yes, but with UI Zerd, you'll be able to basically make some graphical user interfaces, and you'll be able to build an entire app, build an entire UX UI design for yourself. But currently, the auto designer is not available for everybody. You have to waitlist yourself, and only when you waitlist yourself, you'll be able to use it after some time. Okay. Nowadays, ATS resume score plays a role. How to enhance my ATS score in ChatGPT? So same Pritam, if you really want to improve your ATS score, you simply have to give a simple prompt on ChatGPT. So just come to ChatGPT right now. I can simply go back to my you know profile that I just wrote on ChatGPT. Okay, and then I can simply use a simple prompt. It already has a profile though, so I can simply just come down and I can say, you know, I want to apply the role of SEO head. Can you take my resume from above for Hitesh Motwani and optimize it for uh, better visibility in job portals? And then, it'll basically simply optimize my entire resume with the keywords so that the ATS tracks my CV, and basically I start ranking higher for SEO related roles for myself. Correct. So it's the thing is, with simple prompts, you'll be able to actually start doing that for yourself. So if you want to, best time for summarizing PDFs, you can actually use what we call as chatpdf.com. Okay, and you can actually summarize PDF with that. And even the paid version of ChatGPT can upload PDFs, and you can summarize PDFs from there also. So Kiran, future is basically what you make of it about this tool right now. So to be very honest, it's all about how you are building custom prompts to it. Correct. Like I built some custom prompts right now for myself. So basically, the tool has endless possibilities, and you can also basically use API keys, and you can basically build your own bots. You can start building your own Excel bots, and you can actually start for having customized use cases. You can use it for research. You can use it for writing stuff. You can use it basically for summarizing text for you, for giving video scripts. I mean, it's endless. Wherever writing is involved, I think I mean, there's no limit to this. Like I've done trainings for HR heads, for CEOs. I've made business plans. I basically made SOPs, legal contracts. you know it's totally depends upon you how you want to use this tool. The tool has got no power. It's you who has got no power in the tool. So, if you really want to make a project presentation, PPT, as I told you, ChatGPT can't make PPT for you. But ChatGPT use slides for this. You can just say, I want you to act as a subject matter expert in the field of data governance. I would like you to make a project presentation on why data governance should be implemented and what are the steps company should take. Can you build most elaborate project presentation for it? Then simply put, it will basically put down all the possible things, slide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? It will give you all these possible steps for this entire thing. And and then you'll have to manually go and paste this into the PowerPoint for yourself. Okay. That way. So it can build a building architecture. No, it can't build a building architecture for you. So no, it doesn't do images as of now, but you can use software called Midjourney, or you can use Leonardo for that. Okay, but Leonardo and all are not meant to give you building skeletal diagrams. Okay, they'll probably give you how the building will look, an external appear, but it will not make line diagrams for you. And you're looking for that. It basically doesn't have it doesn't have stuff over there. Are there any voice bot like ChatGPT you can talk in real time instead of text? Well, yes, you can integrate ChatGPT to a WhatsApp, and then WhatsApp is like, has the capability where you can speak and you can then use it from here. Okay. Can we use 3D models? Well, 3D models can be built by Leonardo and Midjourney, not by ChatGPT. Okay, what's your view on deep fake photos and videos using AI tools? Well, technology is inevitable, Kiran. I mean, with technology rising, deep fake will also rise, and you can't do much about these things. But then there will technology also which can tell you if it's a fake or not in future. But yes, technology has two sides of it. Some are good, some are bad. Deep fake is just one of them, which is bad.
Yeah, so I guess Hitesh, everybody wants to exploit ChatGPT in their own area. Somebody wants to build architectures. It's kind of they see that yes, there's a hope in ChatGPT in their area as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So I hope all the questions of all the participants are answered. Still, if any questions are there, we'll have a Q&A round at the end as well. And then we can take further more questions also. Yeah, so thank you so much, Hitesh. It was indeed a mind-blowing experience, and I hope everybody has enjoyed very fully. And I hope that everybody will make the best use of it. And your insights and expertise, it has truly made a significant impact on us. And I guess the lives will be much more easier now. The CV building, cover letters, everything will be much more easier.
sure.
I hope everybody will agree to this. I would want a yes or no in the chat box. Yeah, a great insight to chat GPT. Great, that's great. Fine, yeah. So moving further, we have a pivotal segment that holds the key to unlocking opportunities in the professional world. So an insightful conversation with Miss Tuhina, the senior Google HR, and she's having more than 10 years of experience and has been with Google from last 5 years. And you might be one among them who might be recruited by her only in the coming years. So you still have a great chance. And also there's a quiz that is coming up in next 20 minutes. So you must be having your energy high till that time because we do have many prizes for those quiz also. So I welcome Tuhina. Hey, Tuhina.
Hi, Anita.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Yeah,
Um, I can start by introducing myself. I know you gave a short introduction and you all asked for my title, which interestingly doesn't exist. Good afternoon, Priya. Yeah. So I've had an interesting journey. I was an engineer. I am an engineer. I did my engineering and graduated in 2013. But I got the chance to move to human resources in my first job itself with Adobe. And with that experience, I joined Google in 2018. Since then, I've been a part of multiple areas in Google, including recruitment for a really long time. And even right now, my team focuses on hiring from universities. And we've had successful campus years in the past, and this year we onboarded around 400 new graduates. So I'm really excited to engage with everyone and share some insights on how Google works.
yeah. So that's great. So let's move on to certain questions, right? I guess everybody would want to ask some of the few questions from you. As we say Google, so automatically, the stars they light up. So first of all, I would want you to spill the beans that how you prepared and went through the whole recruitment process in Google. What was your experience in that?
That was also quite interesting. I was working with Adobe and it was going well. I had just completed 4 years. I was enjoying my time. And it was December season. And usually these America-based organizations have a lean December period. Chutti hoti hai, 25th to 31st ke around. And it gives you some time to. So I randomly applied to a position in Australia, Sydney, and without thinking much of it. And once the world opened, around 5th January is when the world opens again in this American working ecosystem. I got a call practically on 5th or 6th that they are in fact expanding in India and they are yet to put up their jobs, but they would be interested in speaking to me. And I hadn't prepared for that. So I didn't think I would be selected. I thought like it's a Australia-based position and it'll go on with applicants from Australia. And then one thing led to another. To prepare, I did a lot of reading. We didn't have ChatGPT that time, so we had to do searching on Google. I prepared genuinely. I made notes. I read about Google. I read about Google's philosophy, and I tried to inculcate that in my responses. It was a short interview process. They do about 3 to 4 interviews now. Previously, there was history of doing 20. And then they sort of closed quickly in a week's time. And I moved to Bangalore and started this journey.
Yeah, so great. Yeah, but nowadays we do have ChatGPT. So I guess now we had a session. So many of them, they would be having certain insights and would use, crack these kind of opportunities. Yeah. Yeah. So at these big companies, like all these like just like Google only. So what qualities or experiences tend to set the BTech candidates apart during the recruitment process? I mean, what is the best way to showcase your skill set there?
So it's very important to think about what role, like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Twitter, and a lot of other startups, Uber, Ola, Flipkart, they've all developed a similar kind of hiring style. So if you prepare for one, you are essentially preparing for all of them. And if they are your dream organizations, so it's a good idea to spend some time reading about what they hire, how they hire, and identifying what connects with you. So as BTech students, most of the time, the most common role that you like is software development. I have learned how to code. I want to develop good products and I want to develop for the best company. And that's a very reasonable aspiration. So now you want to be considered for a software developer role at one of these organizations. Or you may feel that I have other experience. I did my BTech, but I'm better at designing or I'm better at communicating. I'm a people person. I'm coding नहीं होता है, पर मैं बातें कर सकता हूँ. How do I get a role? And the truth is that there is a role for everyone. If you are confident with your skill set and you figure out a way to prove that skill set, collect evidence for that skill set and put it on your resume, you will be spoken to, you will be considered. Now, like there are two things to it. First, identifying what you are good at. So if you want to be a software developer, you have to know that coding is your bread and butter. So you practice coding day in and day out. You develop evidence. How do you develop evidence? You participate in online coding competition where you can, post a link in your resume that, I have such and such rating on CodeChef. Or you can learn development across, let's say, web or mobile and create your independent projects, put them on GitHub, add that link to your resume. So basically, when you're saying that I can code, you're also giving some evidence that, see, check here. Go to this link and then my work sample exists. That's the way to get noticed. So identify the role that you want to do and then start collecting evidence. For example, if you're a BTech person, BCA person, someone said in the chat, but you want to be a human resources professional, you feel that you're an empathetic person and you want to think of people. So then you start collecting evidence for it. You start working for non-profit organization. You start interning with startups that take up people with transferable skills. And then you build your, profile like that. 4 years or 3 years of education give you a chance to do that, but we are still understanding how to become adults. So it's fine that your learning continues after your education, and one extra year you're spending in creating that evidence while working in a smaller job or a job that you don't particularly like. So if you have a dream, it's not necessary you have to fulfill it now. You can build the ladder to getting there. Sorry, I got too philosophical, I think, but back to you, Anita.
No, that's great. That's great. Yeah. So as like you totally said, the skill set should be updated every time because nowadays in every minute the technology is changing. So we need to update ourselves for sure. Okay. Now, as in like just now, Hitesh just now has like finished the Chat GPT session, right? So AI already is in the market, and more than 50% Fortune 500 already are turning into the AI world, and it is the future basically. So, if I talk about, I mean, what certain changes have been done in these FANG, or let's say all these companies, and how you people are using this AI in the job roles that you're doing?
It's a good question because the same tools are also available outside to people who are not working in these organizations. So everyone can sort of build together and get these skills. But just think of that time when we didn't have personal computers or phones. And so when we had to prepare for a project, we would go to a cyber cafe and get some internet time and do a search on Google. And as we got into engineering schools, we got laptops, and we learned that if you could just search for PPT for such and such topic, you'll find a PPT on some host and you can download it and make it your own. Or you want to create a resume, you can get a template and edit it and make it your own. So what internet and google.com did was make that thinking process shorter and searching easier. So you have resources to learn from. What an AI bot is doing at this point is saving that searching time also and getting you directly to a template that you can refresh if you don't like, surely. But you save a lot of research time. Now, it doesn't mean that jobs will change or new roles will, I mean, of course, new roles will emerge, but the way that we do our existing jobs will change. The expectation from people will change. So let us say, like a company like ours is hosting a big hiring drive and we have to invite people. The planning that goes into such an event previously has now shortened up. So previously, you would take 3 weeks, you will design the communication plan, and you will design the presentation, then you would design the conversation pieces. And now you can just do that like in 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. So what took 3 weeks can now be done in a week, right? That is the challenge. Just matching up to the everyone else who's also becoming quicker at their jobs. So that's why it is prudent to, I mean, it's sort of important to use these tools in your daily life. Abhi like if nothing is happening and घर पे like travel का plan बन रहा है, just for fun, make that search on GPT and see what it says. Can you design an itinerary for my parents for Shirdi? And see what it says. Is it useful? The faster and smarter you get with the tool. Like when Hitesh was doing his session, he was very confident in what he was typing and he knew what response he will get. That is because of the hours he spent on that tool. But having said that, that tool will not replace your core skills. If you want to be a developer, you have to learn how to code. If you ask the bot to create a code snippet for you, you will just be a smart person. A non-engineer will also be able to do it. So while you are learning how to get better at the tool to develop your skills, you still have to focus on your skills. And that's another challenge that we are seeing. When we are interviewing, we realize our students are searching on ChatGPT and answering. And it just takes like a second after identifying that to like make that person fall. It's not that difficult because the bots are not that intelligent yet. I also want to emphasize that these bots are not bots. These are language learning models. This is pure technology and code that's working. And if your aspiration is creating something like that, you'll still have to develop some skills.
Yeah, that's great. Basically, at the end, they're kind of expert system, which are basically being the knowledge basis from the human side only. Yeah. So let's just take a question from the students also. Now, there are, like Akash is asking that what about those people who are not from technical background, but they have good hands-on knowledge on cloud and DevOps? This means, I guess, they're talking about that they do not have a technical degree, but they have hands-on practice onto cloud and DevOps, maybe because of certain skill set that they've adopted. So do they have any kind of chance to move into these FANG companies or what?
Yes, definitely. All technology companies, in fact, all companies in India have to have what is known as an apprenticeship program. Apprenticeship program basically is the process of these large organizations to also train, give back to society, train individuals for roles in such large organizations. At Google, this is called the IT residency program. It is basically a 1.5 year of rotation across roles like DevOps or IT services. And then you are inculcated in a full-time role that exists. Now, Because you're meeting me today, I gave you an example of such a role at Google. Such a role will exist in Microsoft. Such a role will exist in Amazon. So that's what ChatGPT can help you and Google can help you. Keep looking for these programs. Sometimes it feels that, most of these organizations hire the same kind of people, best school, best degrees. But these are very large organizations. 1.5 lakhs, 100,000, 200,000. Amazon has the most people now, beating other, FMCG companies also. So that means that they have a variety of role. And we right now in India, we are so many and we are so skilled. We will match one of these roles 100%. It's just the thing of finding the right role and presenting yourself for it.
Okay, that's good. I hope Akash, your question is well answered. Same for Ankush as well. Yeah, so like you are basically from the background where like you are the kind of you are acquiring talents, right? So while looking at the CV, how do you evaluate that if a candidate is fit for the role in consideration? I mean, any golden tips to induce that kind of wow factor in the CV so that their CV is like very easily shortlisted? Any kind of tip you want to give?
Yeah. So, two, three things. Like the resume now can be generated. The job description can also be generated, right? So, what you are seeing about the job is someone writing an interpretation of what the actual job is. But when the recruiter is reviewing the resume, they also know directly from the hiring manager what are some things like hidden inside, not clearly written, what kind of candidates might get selected. And a recruiter and a hiring team always wants to shortlist those resumes that have a chance of clearing. So there is nothing else that a recruiter is looking for, because the recruiter's performance is based on how many roles did you close. So they want to find the kind of resumes that will close the role. Now, that is one tip. Think like a recruiter or hiring manager. So when we are seeing the resume, some things are very, very basic, like the ease of opening the resume. Sometimes, we use formats where you have to download, unzip, open. And I'm telling you, it really happens in today's days and time also. A lot of people use Google Suite, so they can't easily open docx and the format goes away. So something as basic as this sometimes is lacking. So that's why I mentioned, make sure your resume is PDF, easily openable. As soon as you open the resume and you're reading it, your eyes will directly go to anything that's bold, anything that's colored, anything that has a background. So make sure anything that you have highlighted is of relevance to you. Usually about 60-90 seconds are spent on a resume. And it's not to reject, it's to find those important things related to the role. So make sure you're highlighting, your reading is easy, not a lot of fonts, not a lot of font size, italics, is that easy to read, easy to consume, easy. Just go for basic. Think like if you show this resume to someone and they just read the highlighted part, the bold part, that should summarize something about you. So just formatting is also a really small part of being eligible for a good role. And then it comes to customization. Just having what for example, I read in the chat someone had mentioned about data science branch, and they want to develop or apply for such roles. And if you found a role, so what kind of role would you be looking for? You'll be looking for a data analyst, product analyst, something to do with data science, data scientist, right? So you will find those roles, you will read the description, and in your resume you will make sure in the first half any project that you have done in this space, any skills that you have gathered in this space. Like if you are a data science person and you've learned Python, because you've learned Python, you were able to create some samples and put on Git. Or if you were able to, do some coding on Kaggle, you can just include that in the first half of your resume, and then it'll quickly grab attention. So I'm a very big supporter of customization for the role that you're applying for.
Okay, that's great. So you have given like very minute details of formatting and all. I guess most of the students they kind of overrule this thing. One more question I would want to take from this only, that is, what is the communication level to get the job in Google? Basically, the ladder they want to reach to Google. Let's say not even Google. If I say all the FANG companies, all the Fortune 500. So what is that communication ladder that wherein they can reach up to that particular company?
Each of these organizations have very, very big student and engagement programs in the form of their own competitions, in the form of their engagement with schools. So, and they have their own blog site also. So there is a google.com, there will be a careers.google.com where we have our job openings, and there will be a career blog where these organizations will talk about these programs or put up the sign up. You can sign up and participate in, let's say, a national hackathon or something. So at an early stage, getting inside their system is a good idea. You may not get anything out of it, you may miserably fail, it's fine, but your record goes inside the system. So these are very mature organizations with very large applicant tracking systems and have details. And sometimes when a position opens and a recruiter has to find someone, they search inside their data before going outside and looking on LinkedIn, because they get so many online applications. Never shy away from applying, because you don't, if you are feeling like there is a slight match, apply. Also, of course, don't apply to a director role right out of college. Then your resume will be seen as KH. We'll look at it later. It's in multiple jobs. But if you find something that matches and you have experience, apply. There is also a myth that you get only limited chances of interviewing if you fail. That's not true. If you interview even once and you fail, the company will, even if you don't apply, all of these companies will reach out to you again, because they look into their internal data first. There is really another myth that they only consider top tier only, and that's also not true. So applying and being confident in applying through LinkedIn job posting or career posting is a must. And last but not the least, if you are developing your skills and you have some doubt in your skill development, or if you see a role and you see someone's name mentioned, then there is no harm in politely reaching out to them on LinkedIn and letting them know, and dropping a message that is not of the format of a communication. Just like, imagine you have an access to their email ID, and maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe a week later, they might check it. Some professionals believe in engagement and they will get back to you quickly and have a chat with you and maybe guide you as well. Some of them may not respond, but will remember something had come. There was Python dekha tha, maine Python dekha tha. And when they're with their recruiter, they'll remember and they'll share the link. There have been many times when I've met a hiring manager and he's just pinged me, कि यार LinkedIn पे ये messages आए थे, इनकी profiles देख लेना. And it was direct engagement. फटाफट check किया, wherever match, quickly contacted. So don't be shy when you're going out. Be develop skills, be confident about them, and present them in whichever way format possible.
Done. Great. So I guess the question is well answered. Now, the next thing, I see many of the students, they prepare multiple CVs for multiple companies. As per the job role, they are preparing their own CVs. If I talk about myself, I used to prepare one single CV in my times and then just put it that CV everywhere, wherever I reached. And I used to feel that, okay, this is the perfect one. So what is the impact of this? Do you think that, yes, the multiple or different CVs for different job roles will have a kind of big impact on the recruiter? Or a single CV would go for it?
So what can be different? Your education remains the same, your company remains the same. Maybe the project you have highlighted might be different. Maybe the way you have presented might be different. There is a free flow content section that people say about me or brief. That could be different, and it's like a really two-line cover letter. There is definitely no harm in changing that and modifying it with respect to the job that you're applying to. But basic cosmetic changes in different resumes, they don't matter much. If you are applying for a data science role, pulling up, adding your skill section above and adding your Python and adding your open source experience is a great idea. But imagine that is a general software development role, it's fine to put the skills on the right or wherever and not highlight that you're a data science person per se, but you know how to code. So you're good at data structures, algorithms, and you're displaying those kind of projects in the resume. It just shows that you are a bit smart and you are trying to get into the recruiter psyche. So no harm at all. Does it matter in selection? Not much, because basic content remains the same. So you know those same skills only, you know, you worked in those same places only. But it also, you know, gives you a self confidence while applying. So please go ahead, and everyone must. I We now receive the resumes that we receive like after 6 months, after 1 year. There is some modification, there is some change that makes us shortlist that resume.
Okay, that's great. Yeah. So one last thing, one last question. That is, any top secret advice to all the undergrads, all the undergraduate students who aspire to start and grow in the tech industry?
Reading and practicing are two keys. Like, you must spend some time reading about these companies, their philosophies, how they hire, looking at their YouTube videos on how they interview, what are they looking for. They put a lot of content out there. All of these FANG companies, they have their own YouTube channels. Practicing, if you are into development, or if you are into any kind of role that, you know, creates something, that could be copywriting, that could be designing. Practicing, if you looking at an app and you think, oh yeah, this is a really bad app, yaar, ye to bahut gandi app rahi hai. Think of what your app would look like. It's a passion project. Put it up online, on any blog. All of these things, whatever, you know, your journey of developing skills also become evidence of your having that skill, and you can put it on your resume also. So just changing your thought process from yaar main to wahan kabhi nahi pahunch paunga to वो लोग ये करते हैं, मैं भी ये करूंगा. So if they can, they are developing AI bots, I want to learn how to develop AI. It's like, challenge them and you'll get there.
Okay, that's great. So you're adding a lot of positivity alongside the, you know, the tips and tricks as well. So that's great. Yeah. So some more questions which students have already asked. Somebody who is in MBA, let's say in HR, so he has, and he, what are the various skill sets that they can work upon to get into these FANG companies?
In the HR world, Anmol, the people inside are very content heavy, in the sense that they also have their own belief system. So HR, there is HR that runs the company, not the admin part. Like, how will you promote? How will you save people from leaving the organization? How will you make sure that all managers have the same philosophy of dealing with their team? You know, deeper questions. And a company has a philosophy, and anyone who gets in also has a philosophy. Of course, then there is the recruitment team, which is more, has a bigger bias to action, and, you know, going out and hiring. So good with closing, negotiation, influencing. So which part of HR, you know, interests you the most? I would say develop skills. Read. If you have a good professor, have a chat, think of case studies, how other companies are doing it. You know what happens? All this content that you absorb, when you go and get your one-shot interview, that's where it helps. When if someone asks you, what is the best way to preserve key talent, you know, the top talent of the company, because anyone outside will always be paying higher. So how to make sure that this person doesn't leave? Now, you won't know the right answer. You don't know what that company does or how much money that company has. But you will have ideas of the 10 companies that you have read about, not just your basic opinion. And you will be able to develop a very articulate answer. So for HR particularly, I would suggest that a lot of reading of books, reading of you know, company blogs, looking at videos of people talking, will just develop content. And everyone values actual experience. So you're pursuing your MBA, email startups. You know, I'll do a free internship, I'll do this. Any internship in which you have to work is better than just a certificate internship. So aspire for that, because you will go to office, you will meet 5 people, 4 of them will remember you, 3 years later one of them will give you a job. So identifying that, you know, in your career journey, unless you put yourself out there and get your hands dirty, nobody will be able to sort of help you forward. Sorry, I went on tangent. Yeah, Anita.
Yeah, so I guess connects do help. And so Thank you so much, Tuhina, because this is the real-time experience that you've shared. It was all kind of real-time scenarios that you've shared, and thank you for taking the time to engage with the audience. And I guess with these kind of insights, for sure, some of the steps they would have taken, one or two steps, they would have taken to their success for sure. Yeah. So thank you so much, Tuhina.
Thank you so much, Anita. All the best, everyone. Yes, I'm on LinkedIn, but unlike what I preach, I'm not active and my profile shall not have much. But please find me. I am very active when I'm hiring. And please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. All the very best. You've just started your journeys. You have a really, really long way to go. And I mean, you're a group of students who are spending their Saturday in this. So I'm really looking forward to where you end.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Tuhina, for your wise words. Yeah. So now let's move further with the exciting part of the session. That is the quiz. Many of you have been asking, what is the game pen? Some people have been even putting it to the personal text also in the chat box also. So now, next is the quiz that is on Kahoot. And first 15 outstanding champions will grab the amazing prizes. First prize being 25K as an Amazon voucher. Second is 15K Amazon voucher. Third prize is Amazon Eco Dot. And a third to fifth prize is basically Amazon Eco Dot. And the sixth to 15th prize will be getting 10% discount on our courses. As in, we as a edtech industry are also running courses which are helping our students for placements, for skill set, and we give you certain skill set that just now Tuhina was talking about. That skill set is the one you need to update yourself on daily basis. So we are the ones who are giving you certain courses. So 6th and 15th price, 6th to 15th will be having those 10% discounts on all our courses. So we'll start with the quiz now. We'll just share the screen. All of you are ready, I guess. So you must be having a lot of energy for this after listening to all the prizes, I guess. Yeah, so you can just open Kahoot, www.kahoot.it. Please open this. This is the link that is flashed on the screen. It will be asking for the game pin. It will ask for the game pin. Make sure that you're writing your full name. Your full name must be written so that we can easily identify you. Otherwise, your nicknames we cannot identify. Please write your full names. Write your full names. Please register fast. And this quiz is completely a MCQ. You will be seeing all the questions on the screen and the options will be floated on your screen. So that is the reason I told in the very beginning that it is better that you log in through a laptop so that you see the questions on your system and you can easily log in on the phone. So the question will be listed on the screen and you need to find the correct answer. And the options will be available in your account. We'll just wait for 2 more minutes. Let everybody join in fast. So it's purely a race with the time with others, right? It is a kind of race with time also, and it is a kind of race with others also. So the participant who answers in less time will get more points by the end. So it's kind of, a quick race with time as well as a race with others as well. I guess still students are joining in. Okay. Make sure that you're writing your full name. That is the first name as well as the last name. It will be easier for us to identify you if you are on the topmost at the leaderboard. Yes, yes, Adarsh, we have been conducting these sessions very often. These webinars are for students only, wherein we are conducting these on to any all the latest topics. As I said that we already are a tech company, and we are skilling up the students. We offer courses wherein we develop your skills, and even after that we even give you placement opportunities also. We're already tied up with 500 plus tech giants, and we offer placements also. So we are training the students based upon the requirement from the industry itself. Great, Adarsh. Obviously, we if in the near future, after every 15 days, we are having these kind of webinars for our students. We do have. So I guess every Nikhil, we are starting. I guess you just heard about the prizes. Sure, we'll be sharing the recording. I guess everybody of you is already in the group that we created. So we surely will be sharing the recording also. We will be sharing that. I guess everybody has joined. Just write yes there. So you can now see the questions. So get ready, guys. Good luck to everybody. You can see the options on your screen. The question is here. You can see the options there. Make sure you answer it very quickly. It's kind of fastest finger first. There are some who haven't yet answered. Please be quick. Yeah, so you can see the leaderboard also. So congrats to Love Mathu. He's on the topmost on the leaderboard. He's the quickest one. The next question that we have. Please be quick. I can see now the students are more quicker than the previous one. Time is up. The answer is September 2021. So the leaderboard, again, it's Love Mathur only. He's on his tips. That's great. Next is Sajan Rai, Swati Dogra, Rohit Garg, Anuj. The third question. Be quick, guys. The correct answer is experience. And on the leaderboard, who is at the top? Okay, now Swati is on the top, and Love Mathur is nowhere to be seen as of now. So Swati, Rohit, Abhishek, Manish, and Pankaj, they are the top five as of now. A very marginal difference is there. You still have a chance to move to be at the top. The next question: do not write the answers in the chat box, students. You can play the game. So it's all of the above. I guess everybody might have answered this correctly. So Rohit Garg now is at the top, then Swati, then Manish, Pankaj, and Sonu. Okay, that's great. Okay, Nikhil, I'll be speaking the questions also. So how does ChatGPT generate responses? Options are there: quantum magic, random guesses, train patterns, or time travel. I would request not to answer in the chat box. You must play the quiz. It's trained patterns as it's kind of trained model. Just now, as Hitesh was discussing, Rohit Garg is on the top. Again, not a big difference in Rohit and Swati, a marginal difference. Next question is, what's a chat GPT generated technique for standing out in job application? Tailoring skills to job descriptions, Morse coding formatting, designing cover letters, including rare emojis. Students are very, very quick. Okay, so the correct option is the first one, that is tailoring skills to job descriptions. Let's see the leaderboard now. Okay, so there's a very tough competition between Rohit and Swati, I guess. So now Swati Dogra is at the top, Rohit is on the second, Nishant, Pankaj, and Anuj. Some new names in this. Great. The next question: how does ChatGPT enhance interview preparation? So the whole session was about this only. Options are: predicts interviewers' likes, predicts the company's future, stimulates role-playing scenarios, provides an update on company share price. So till I'm reading the options, till then mostly 70 people have answered. Very quick. So we are done, and the correct option is stimulates role-playing scenarios. And on the leaderboard, we have Swati Dogra. Next is Rohit Garg, Nishant, Anuj, and we have one more, that is Basit is also there. Okay, that's great. Eighth question: which prompts are great from a research perspective? Is it act like, zero shot, few shot, or contextual? From the research perspective. This is a bit tricky one, I guess. So the correct is zero shot. And let's see the leaderboard now. Swati is at the top. Rohit just shot by a few points. Nishant, Anuj, and Basit. Leaderboard is still the same. Okay. I guess the last two questions will be the deciding ones. So to automate a repetitive task, which boat model is used? Again, the options: zero shot, act like, contextual, or auto boot. So students are very quicker in answering. In chat box, we are getting the answer a bit late, but here we are getting very quicker. So the correct option is contextual, and the leaderboard is now. So we see Swati Dogra, not much of the changes there. Love Mathur again is in top 5. That's great. Swati, Rohit, Nishant, Anuj, and Love Mathur is there. And the last question: which tool can we use to give you audio output? ChatGPT, Clipchamp, Clip Hero, Clip Shot. It's the last one. And 3, 2, and 1, and the time is up. And the correct option is Clipchamp. And the leaderboard: Nishant, Rohit Garg, and the top. Who's at first? Swati Doga. Congratulations, Swati, with 9447, and Rohit Garg second, and Nishant third. And there are furthermore positions as well. So we will be considering the top 15 champions, as we said. Congratulations to all the participants. You can see the summary as well. Yeah, so thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the session, plus the quiz as well. Everybody, we will be contacting you. Don't worry, students. We will surely be contacting you. That is the reason I was saying this. Write down the full name. So once again, I thank you, Hitesh and Tuhina, for your time and expertise and enriching this webinar with their real-time experiences. And we look forward for all the further opportunities to learn from your insights. And as students, just now I said that we are conducting these webinars on daily basis, wherein we are always and always finding certain new and trending topics, and then we are conducting those webinars. Also, we at HM, we work in building careers, and careers just like our experts today. And we run multiple career-oriented courses to prepare you for placements. We offer you opportunities of placements, and we work upon your skill set to help you get into your dream companies. And for that, even you can refer to for the courses, you can refer to our website, that is www.hopingminds.com. Therein you can check the courses that we are offering. Also, you are already in the WhatsApp group. If you want to contact us, we do have our support numbers also. You can even contact us there as well. If any further query is there, for that also you can contact. Also for your certificates, we'll be sharing you a link for your certificates also in the WhatsApp group only. And then further, you can download your certificates for these sessions. Plus for prizes, we'll be contacting everybody personally, and then we'll be sending you all your prizes. We'll shortly be sharing the recording also. We'll shortly be sharing the recording as well. I hope everybody has enjoyed the session. How we will get these gifts? We will be sending you all the gifts, Deepti. Do not worry. We'll get in touch with you after this session only. Okay. So that is it today for today's session, and students, we look forward to all of you for the future sessions as well. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hitesh. Thank you, Tuhina.